Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to have a look at the Ethereum Bitcoin trading pair. Now, of course, Ethereum and Bitcoin, the two big dogs of the crypto space, the two goats. But why I like looking at this pair is because it gives you a general idea of what part of the cycle we're in for the crypto space. Now, before I get into that, I just want to tell you I'm going to structure this video. I just want to have a look at, basically I'm going to spend it covering a few historical things. We're going to compare current to previous historical data and price action. I'm also going to let you know of a few sort of key resistant levels and support and resistant bands. And I'm also going to tell you where I think it might head based on the information that we gather beforehand. Now, getting straight into it, give you the current laydown of the pair. We've been currently in a steady downtrend, pretty consistent downtrend, to be honest with you. And you can see this support and resistance line that I put in a video about 2 weeks ago, where I was looking at Bitcoin, and we can see that it's still stayed within this range. Now, when I made that video, the price was somewhere around here. I think we were just going into the second week, and of course, it's stayed pretty true to that, to this support and resistance level. And I see it going down further, but we'll get into why that is later. First of all, I want to say that, this pair, it's a good way of seeing whereabouts we are on the crypto cycle, because whenever Bitcoin has a big lead like this, it usually shows that Bitcoin is exploding in comparison to the rest of the crypto market. It's having it's leading the way into the bull run, and Bitcoin always does this. Every single market cycle we've had in crypto, Bitcoin has led the way, and once it's launched all the altcoins along with it, usually the altcoins for that cycle will do their 10x 20x after Bitcoin. And it's the same with Ethereum when it first came along. I mean, Bitcoin launched this sort of rally in 2017, and Ethereum went nuts. Obviously look at like how it was 0.15 ETH for a Bitcoin, whereas now it's 0.06. So you can see that Bitcoin needs to take over a lot of dominance first, drain out a lot of the liquidity to allow that liquidity to flow from Bitcoin into the alts and into these new flashy alts and all this stuff to allow us to go into a bull run. But it always starts with Bitcoin. Before 2017, this is Ethereum, which is also very big back then as well, by the way. It wasn't like it was some unheard of, alts. It was very big. It had a huge decline. Let me check. It had a huge decline of minus 70% basically over the space of 3 months, before it was then able to go up stupidly in comparison, like 16x on its Bitcoin pair. Its USD pair was even more, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, well, it definitely was. But this is what I mean, it always leads. And again, crypto market was going down here in general, but Bitcoin held up much stronger than everything else, the odd altcoin that was popping off for whatever reason. But then again, all bleeds back to Bitcoin, second rally. And again, we sort of see this, and it just gives us a good gauge of what state the market's in, because when we see money leaving, even now Ethereum, second biggest crypto, and cemented itself there, when we see money leaving Ethereum to go to Bitcoin, it's usually a sign that people are throwing in the towel. They're saying, okay, I don't want anything to do with all these risky, dodgy bets. They just want to put their money in something safe so that they still have money at the end of the day. And Bitcoin is that safe thing, aside from stablecoins. But even recently, there's been a lot of stablecoin debate with the SEC and all this, and Bitcoin has been the only one that's been said so far. I don't know if it's been confirmed in any way, but it's been said that it's sufficiently decentralized and it's not going to be targeted. So it's in the crypto space, it's as ultrasound money as you can get. It's not going to get touched by any governing body. It's going to be left to do its thing. And its thing is to move least dramatically compared to the rest of the space. So when we see the, Ethereum bleeding to Bitcoin again, it makes sense. We've had this big bull run from ETH, and now it's time for it to bleed down again. Now that Ethereum is much bigger and has cemented itself as a long-term crypto, obviously less money is going to leave it, especially with the recent upgrades back in 2022 with Shanghai, which I think was here. I think this was Shanghai. It was September, I think Shanghai was announced. So, well, even you can see, I think it was September, and you can see obviously that ETH had a big drop, so it was obviously building up comparatively, and then when Gary Gensler said that it was a security, it obviously collapsed a bit on its BTC pair. But to be fair, I think most of the crypto space did, and ever since it's just gone down and down and down. And I think it's due to keep going down. I mean, if we have a look at these resistance and support pairs, the only real support level that we have here that this trend is going to come into is sort of this one here, the 0.55 sort of range. Because as you can see, when we broke up above it, we tested it twice, bounced off it twice, came low to it again, didn't test it really, came low again, didn't get as close as the previous time, and bounced up again, and sort of pushed ourselves up to this sort of level around here. And then of course we had the big collapse, big drop off in price, where Bitcoin or Ethereum, I'm not quite sure of the scenario that happened here, but anyway, obviously went down quite a bit, tested this level again, broke down below it, went above it, broke down below, above, until finally breaking to the upside to where we were here with the SEC announcing ETH as a security, where it obviously went down on everything, but including its Bitcoin trading pair. And ever since it's been in this realm of, steady downward movement. And I think that's not going to change. So really I follow it. I see it following this sort of a pattern where we test here, we come back up, we have a little whatever, little up down, test that resistance again, break to the downside, have a little, fake out, whatever, and then we just eventually come down to this 0.55 level. And I think once we do come down to this level, we'll sit out for a while. I think probably a week or two, like we did here. But I think we will ultimately break down to the downside. I think people are finally getting to the point now where they're giving up on crypto. They're not interested in these alts. I know we had this meme coin season, February onwards, whenever it was, with the BRC20, Bitcoin meme coins, whatever. But even that was the only thing that's been exciting in the crypto space for months now. Ever since Shanghai, really. I mean, Ripple, you can argue Ripple had its, they got the Hinman documents released, and that was a big thing, but it wasn't really, because it turned out to do nothing for the case, really. It's not really the smoking gun that they hoped it would be. And then the meme coins, of course, but really nothing is happening in the crypto space. Whereas in the bull run, there's this old coin is going to go 10x, and Ethereum has just announced its whatever upgrade, and right now nothing is happening. It's just bad news. The SEC is going for them, and yeah, BlackRock has announced they want to do an ETF, but that's only going to raise Bitcoin's price. And on the ETH BTC pair, Ethereum's just going to keep bleeding, Bitcoin might get a bit of a rally out of this ETF. It might keep it slightly afloat compared to everything else, but everything is still going to go down over the next 8 months, I think. And especially alts, Bitcoin will hold the strongest. So I think over this time, at the end of the year, 6 months from now, when we reach this level, potentially, I think we will float around it for a few months. And whether we have a Santa rally that lifts it out, like we did sort of, this last Christmas gone, where we had our January sort of rally and we've been up ever since. Or we just have a capitulation because people are putting their money in Bitcoin and people are taking their money out of ETH, or they're taking their money out because they need that money for Christmas presents, whatever. It doesn't change the fact that it's still bled down to this key support level, and whether it goes up in the short term or not, there is still huge amounts of headwinds that will force it down below. And then after that, you're looking at maybe this is going to be sort of your next, well, actually, I think the 0.5-ish range would be more of a test, somewhere around here, in line with these two, somewhat would probably be your next support level. And then after that, you could be looking at going down as low as 0.39, which, to be honest, I don't think is unreasonable to assume. I mean, Ethereum was huge in this bull run. It was huge in the last bull run. And in the time between the bear market, it was still huge. It didn't lose any of its notoriety, but it still reached these lows of 0.01 BTC. Now, I don't think we will see that again. I think as time goes on, this chart will even out a lot more. Our first oscillation big, down big, rally back up not as much, and then rally back down not as much. So honestly, I can definitely see us getting to this 0.35 range. Definitely. I know that's very hard to see now, but I mean, it happened over here, and here everyone thought Ethereum was the new BTC. They thought Ethereum was going to topple BTC. You had your smart contracts, your EVM. It was all, everyone couldn't shut up about it. And it still went down to these lows. So now that even more people know about ETH, and ETH2 is, successfully launched, and they've got this big, successful, promising roadmap up ahead, there's still the same hype, and there's no reason that Bitcoin doesn't hold up better, in my opinion. But long term, I do see us following a sort of bleed back down, and then 2024 halving in April will send ETH down another leg, definitely, I'm sure. I mean, even if we're just at the support level, the halving will, like it does every single time, shoot up Bitcoin's price, and it'll bring a lot of altcoins with it. It'll be a green day for the crypto space, but where Bitcoin could go up 10, 15%, 30% over the space of a month, Ethereum might go up, 6, 7%, which is a huge bleed on the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. So it's not a bad idea, and not just with Ethereum, with other altcoins, to have a look at your altcoins if you're still holding any, which I wouldn't recommend. It wouldn't be a bad idea to compare them to Satoshi, see how they're holding up, and if you think there's more pain along the way. Because in my opinion, over the next 8 months, Bitcoin is going to go down. And in my opinion, over the next 8 months, I think almost every alt is also going to go down relative to Bitcoin. I mean, please, if in 8 months, altcoins have rocketed and BTC has stayed where it is, please laugh at me. I will happily, I'll be laughing with, you know what, fair, totally fair. Unsubscribe. Tell me I'm worst TA ever, which would probably be fair. But with the facts that we currently have, not facts, with the information that we currently have, previous price history, what we know is coming, I can't see any alts really doing better than Bitcoin in the medium long term, which is 6 to 8 months. For me. I just don't see it happening. So in my opinion, you'd be much better off putting your money in BTC. And if you want to put it in ETH, that's fair. If you want to put a bit of money in an altcoin because it's down bad right now, that's fair. Go for it. I wouldn't blame you for that. We're at prices now where alts are low, like, you know, all-time lows, some of them. Definitely for this cycle. And picking up a bit now makes sense, because even if it does test its all-time high, you're still going to be in money in 3 or 4 years. One thing I also wanted to have a look at, just to show you relative as well, if it decides to load, was the Bitcoin dominance. Now, I think this is, I just want to show you basically from around May of last year, or 2021, sorry, since we've been in this sort of up point here, I wanted to show you that every time this pair has gone down, it's because Bitcoin's dominance has gone up. I'll make another video soon on Bitcoin's dominance, but when Bitcoin's dominance goes up, every alt bleeds to it, including Ethereum. And like, this is a big difference here. And then of course when the dominance goes down, you see Ethereum leads up, and Ethereum is where most of the dominance is taken from Bitcoin or given to Bitcoin. If Ethereum is going down relative to Bitcoin, that's going to be it's going to influence the Bitcoin dominance a lot more than any other altcoin, because none of them are just close to the level that Ethereum is. So it's just interesting to see, and currently the Bitcoin dominance is on a pretty high trend, and this is percentage relative to the current ETH price, but I'm pretty sure we just broke 50% for the Bitcoin dominance, which is a key sort of resistance, could be support level for the Bitcoin dominance. So if we manage to hold above 50% and continue to climb, whether it's slowly or barely at all, if we continue to stay above 50%, there is no hope for the alts being able to keep up. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys that. I think it's very interesting, and hopefully it's helped you out. If it did help you out, please subscribe. It would help me a huge amount, and really appreciate the support I've been getting so far from you guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate you watching, and yeah, see you soon.